to be focused more on using technology, data, and value there, and that means that trading methods with publishers will change. We think that's very, very clear. It's very, very strong from our point of view. We think publishers will find the change less scary from what they're thinking today. We think they need to be more educated, they need to understand this, they need to hire people in this space, and they need to be more confident about what they can do. Just remember, without excellent content, context, services for publishers, there's no relevant inventory for us to buy, and our advertisers want to be associated with that. So we're not just buying data, we're buying audiences, but we are buying audiences in a content-related area. And I think when you think about that, this is a very, very exciting part for publishers with relevant content and exciting content. We use data kind of in 3 different levels. We use data based on the data we get from campaigns. We share that, we aggregate that across all our clients, so we get an enormous amount of knowledge. But we also go in and we put tags on clients' websites. That's all private, client-specific private data. And then we have clients that are saying, we're actually willing to share some of our very, very sensitive ROI data with some of your other clients, i.e., if you buy a car, you need a car insurance. We might have advertisers, or we have advertisers where this is relevant. So we can start sharing data here. All this gives us a fantastic opportunity for us to really understand what inventory performs. And because data is not just a one-way from publisher to us, it's also us giving data back to publisher in an indexed way. There obviously are privacy issues around our advertisers, but if you can work with your website and you understand what audience you have there, we can help you understand how that converts, and we can give you that data. That is tremendous value. I used to work in a sales organization for 7 years. Having your salespeople armed with information like that, facts from GroupM who buy so much, saying this is converting for a fact, that's a gold mine. Let me first shoot internally. This world, if we think about the publisher advertiser slide everyone eats for breakfast, this is a complicated slide. It's becoming more and more complicated. There are more and more opportunities. There's more and more technology companies, DSPs, SSPs. The newest thing is data exchanges. There's so much coming out which is difficult to understand. So we find it difficult. I might be working, and my team might be working on this every single day. So it's easy for us to understand. But we have agency people where this is complicated. So we can't necessarily just expect them to be telling clients exactly what's going on, etc. So we are investing in people to go into the agencies to help agency people educate their clients, etc. Exactly the same principle publishers need to do. When the world changes, that means that also jobs needs to change, positions needs to change. Whatever you need, i.e., you need to understand yield, you need to understand data, etc., etc. And there are a lot of publishers who understand that. But there's also a lot of publishers who doesn't understand it. And that is very, very important to do. That's not easy. We understand that. We are living it as my example I just gave. But if you don't do that, you will be behind, because there are publishers doing that. So the EU and America for that sake, but let's just focus on us, has looked into the privacy. What are we using from a user perspective, not from an advertiser or publisher, but from a user perspective, have looked into the privacy of what data is used from me surfing the web. What knowledge do we have? And they start saying where it needs to be, I as a user opt in or I opt out. The opt in has a big implication, because that means that you can't use behavioral targeting, you can't do a lot of different things, which means that advertisers are not very keen on putting digital money, which means a lot of websites won't exist in the future. But EU is not saying what people think. It's not saying you per 25th of May need to do this, full stop. They're saying we want you to do this, but we actually prefer you to fix it yourself. And that's why we need to take it very, very serious. Because if we don't fix it ourselves, if we don't start educating people, if we don't start showing people this is an ad that we're serving based on your behavior, You can do that with a simple logo. If you don't start doing things like that, EU will come with a law that will hurt all of us. So that, in my view, is very, very clear. And we are to blame, publishers are to blame, everyone is to blame here. Part of our training system is we are very, very transparent, because we think that if you're not transparent on what you use it for, you are not working as a partnership. We know there are people out there, let's just call it networks, that are very, very, very good and are very transparent, but there are also a very large amount of networks that are not transparent, that sells cookies among each other, and the more publishers use networks, the more they foster that model. So it's a little bit hypocritical saying we don't want to share your data, because they do it already. They just look the other way.